Welcome back to a surprise. I didn't think you'd probably hear from me for quite a while since Managersim Beyond the Phoenix, which was done in July 2020. It's now November. It's literally, let me think, 4 months since we done that last part, and a lot of people watched it. So thanks very much if you watched the original episode. As I mentioned before, I will always come back to Manager Sim and do the odd specials. And today, because the gap has been 4 months, I thought you might want to see how the world has changed since the first day of everyone moving over to the demo world, and then those who stayed, those who have paid their patrons every month, they've gone over to the stayed into the Phoenix original series, the original world. The world is still up and running. There is a lot less managers. Some notable big names have now gone, but we've still got at least 40 of us around. Some maybe again multiple accounts. Again, I've still got two accounts. Lord Donut is still around. He's still at Tbilisi actually, but my main account I have moved around a bit, and I've gone over to Harmony. Yes, I have got 400 million in the bank, and I'm making some big signings in the next few ticks. But you'll have to go into the game to see what signings I make. But this is just like a little don't forget Manager Sim is still around type video to say what's been happening. And for all those in the demo world who can't access the Phoenix series, the Phoenix game world, this kind of gives you an insight of how the world is now looking. Again, this is where all the major updates of the game are being put into for the first time. There's been no real noticeable big improvements to the game since 4 months ago. Only a few subtle changes, like for instance the youth team. All players in all the youth academies, they all have to reach the old age of 18 years old, or in some cases 19, before they are offered or not offered a contract, and that's kind of divided the players in this game world of it being a good idea or not being a good idea, because especially if you're in slightly less level sides, level one, two, three sides in sort of like smaller countries, you'll never get really decent youth players. And when a not very good youth player comes into your side, you have to stay, and they're say 16 years old, they'll have to stay in your side for 2 years. Because they naturally will stay in your side until they reach 18, 19 years old. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people are fine with it. And quite a few don't even care. I'm one of these people who I prefer the random youths to come in and then go out in quickly, or just it's just much better way of doing it. But we have to obey what Bowman says, and we'll stick as it is. So I'm going to give you a tour of the world, what it looks like now. When we did the Beyond the Phoenix Part 1, that was the game date was December 2020. It's now June 2023. So we have gone at least another nearly 3 years into the distant future since that part. And the game world has noticeably changed, but we have got a lot of bulk of players in two main countries now. Um, the major difference is the amount of players left in the game. We've now got 43 registered managers in the game and that has steadily gone down. We have, well, not gone down drastically. We've just gone down from 50 down to 40. We have lost some really big players though, which who will be sadly missed. But it was their decision. Some just didn't want to stay around because I think lack of game development or something. I don't know. It's entirely up to them. But here's the current top 20 managers. You can see there's quite a lot of familiar names still in here. We've still got Mike Turner. We've still got Andre Heichel. Dave is still there. Burnham is there. Tiago still there. Tiago's still in Italy as well. Um, Myself, I'm in Sweden, obviously going back to my old roots with Elfsborg. Remember those glory days of the Elfsborg specials? Fritz is here, of course, one really good manager. He's at Marseille in France. And yeah, so you can still see 43 people here. We had a couple of new people, like Matt Jones was quite new. So we are having a trickle of new players coming to compensate the amount of players we have lost. But I'll quickly go through this special to show you how the game world looks for those in the demo world who are just wondering how the Phoenix world looks like. This gives you a good insight. So as I said before, the world With lesser managers, they're more spread out, but two countries seem to be fighting to be the best country now in the game. So if you're a real established manager and you want to go into the game world, this Phoenix game world, after you become a penetrant, then I advise you to either go to England or Italy. They've both got the bulk of the managers. If you really want to start gently, then probably avoid France. France is pretty busy, but not as busy as England and Italy. Germany is dead quiet. Spain is dead quiet, and everywhere else it's dead, literally. Portugal's got a few, maybe Turkey's got a few. Everywhere else, there's practically just one manager in the country. Some countries don't even have any managers. So let's go and show you why England's so competitive. England, I think, has got the edge of how competitive it is. The season hasn't started yet, but Man United were the champions of last year. The manager is Mike Turner, and he's led Manchester United to victory. Um, Mike is known for winning a lot of awards and trophies in the game. And again, for those who have played this game very often, the trick is to have a player who's multi-skilled on everything. So you can see through all his players that the majority of the secondary skills are just as high as the main skills. So you can highlight a couple of hundred players here. We've still got quite a few hundred players in the game, but their values do vary. For instance, you've got a 100 player here like Cortinas, who's probably one of the world's best goalies, value at 186 million. If we just quickly go into him, see, was he recently bought for that? No, that's his true value. So he is definitely one of the best goalies in the game, well, full stop. So for instance, you got this goalie's on keeping rating of 100, 186 million. Well, I've got a player in Tbilisi, Houghton, who's a left back, who's got 100 skill, but his value is about £700,000. So it does vary a lot. But truly, this is probably one of the best keepers I've ever seen. And as you can see, Mike's got a good combination of all-around skill players. He's got a massive team as well. There's no team limit, a player limit in each side in this game world. You can have as many players as you want, um, but you still have I think the value and the amount of games you play type disciplinary or something like that. You get pampered by your lower skill ratings or something if you don't play your guys as often as they should do. But you can see Mike's team is very good. If we go into the stat computer gives you a good idea what's actually happened since the last episode 4 months ago in real time, nearly 3 years in this time. So we'll skip to what it looked like, and it's now 2023. So this is what actually happened that season we just had. So Man United finished top. Wigan won one of the sides that came from the lower leagues up to the top league under Tony. Bristol City, another side that came from Championship up here. Middlesbrough and Paul and Middlesbrough go together all the time. Burnham was actually based in Germany for most of the year, but then he moved over to Tottenham. Man City were managed, but they left their manager. The manager left them a while ago. And then you got all these various other sides. Fritz and Bournemouth, remember that from the first part? He stayed at Bournemouth, but then he moved over to other teams, and he's now gone over to France. So that was in 22-23. Let's go back, if we can, to the season before then. Man City were the champions. That's it. It was Enric who was the manager of Man City. Then it's Middlesbrough and Tottenham. If we go back again to well, I think part one was. It was Tottenham. Tottenham were the boss. Let's say Tottenham just lost their manager, didn't they? And who actually took over from Tottenham? I think it was. If we just go up to here, who? Because a manager did apply for Tottenham, but of course part one ended. We didn't know who the manager was. Um, let's just go. It's not Burnham. I know Burnham's only just recently joined them. So 2020, December 2020. Okay, Beef Bar, whoever he was, joined. Beef Bar, and of course he's now gone. He left only just after one season. But Burnham joined literally in 2022. So Burnham is actually, after Beef Bar left, Burnham took over the side. Oh, okay. So that's how England looks like. So England is very competitive. Let's go back to England again. So we've got Mike at Man United. Tony's been at Wigan since quite a long time. Bristol City, we've got Lawrence, who's been there since. How long have you been there, Lawrence? Since 2018, this is his only club he's been at, so he's definitely taken them up to the high reaches. So he's done an amazing job. Paul's at Middlesbrough, Burnham's at Tottenham. Man City has actually got a manager now, Johan, who's only just joined this season. But Eric's actually stayed until 2023. And then we got Blackburn Rovers under Andrew. Liverpool's had various managers. Dave has now moved to Liverpool. Dave was the Barcelona boss and he won everything with Barcelona. We'll talk about Spain later, but he's decided to go to Liverpool. He went to Arsenal for a bit and then he went to Liverpool. And then Bournemouth has been taken up again by this guy here. Now, there's always in the back of my mind that this guy could be Fritz. Fritz was well known for having multiple accounts. At one stage, I think he had something like 25 accounts. I don't know how he could keep an eye on that many. But this guy could be completely new. This guy has been around for a long time. I can't pronounce his name. Mikhail, I suppose. He's been he's been at quite a few clubs actually. And then we got Oldham, which has just been promoted. So the Championship, as you can see, there's no human managers there. League One, there's no human managers there. So this is what happens in main countries. You'll see maybe the top league with a few human managers and everywhere else, no one there. The other country that's got a really big interest at the moment is Italy. And you can see there's up to 7 clubs that got human managers. If we go into the stat computer and let's look at Italy this time and see what's happened since 2020. If we go back to 2020, Lazio were the champions then under Patrick. Then Inter Milan and Michael Milan with Tiago. And Vitras and Teller side through came from the bottom leagues up to the top league under Andre. So he's done an amazing job there. The next season after that, Inter under Mikel won it. Then Lazio. So it's the same names again. And then we go just to last season. Inter, Mikel again. Vitras done really well to get second. Lazio, Milan, and Roma. So let's look at how the league looks like now before it starts again. So Inter, we've still got Mikel there, so the reigning champions have still got the same boss. Vitras has still got Andre, Lazio and Patrick. So Italy hasn't changed as much as England. Some good names here, really good names. Yeah, Igor starting Napoli. Bari have got a new manager. I think Eric wasn't their original manager. I could be wrong. No, Eric was their original manager. Sorry, Eric. And he was there. He's been there since day one. So well done. So Italy is probably the second biggest setup in the game world at the moment. So probably if you come into this painting world, these are probably two, unless you really want to challenge, these are the two countries you should really avoid, England and Italy. Very highly competitive. Now we go to the other main countries who have not so populated. France was populated quite well recently, but a lot of managers have left. The Green Camp managers left, PSG manager left, which was me actually, and the Nantes manager has left. But Fritz has come into Olympic Marseille, so I'm expecting Marseille to win a lot next season, especially with Grand Camp, who had a really successful campaign under Jeremy, but Jeremy was one of the big names who's now left the game, sadly. So no one's actually taken over Grand Camp, and as always, when the manager leaves the club and no manager replaces him, the vultures come and nick all the good players, and we'll see that clearly in the big team very soon. So that's France. So we've still got 4 managers there. Nantes have been literally winning everything under Teddy Bear. Uh, Lyon under Nick. And Marseille's Fritz, of course. And obviously, as a standard Fritz team, he's bought a lot of players. And he's got some really good youngsters there. It's a really young side. So that should do really well there. Um, and then Lille under Julian. I was at PSG. I left them because I thought I wasn't going to get very far in France. If you can remember, PSG was my team that I played a lot in the last game world. But I decided to come back and see if I can bring them back again. But nah, I wasn't enjoying it really. And so in Germany, it's even worse. There's only one manager left, or 2 managers left now in Germany. Hertha was actually quite a new manager. Borussia Dortmund under Eric, he's been there, literally winning a lot. He's been there since. Has he been there since? Oh, it's Juan who was there just for 1 month, and then Eric's been there for literally since the game started. So he's enjoying a good time in Dortmund, and Dortmund are a really good side as well. We've also Bayern Munich Did have a human manager, but managers have come and gone through Bayern. I was actually at Bayern for 2 months, but I didn't enjoy it again. But this could be a good challenge for someone new coming in. They got a really good strong base of players, quite a small side as well, an aging side though, so a lot of these players will have to be replaced unless you really want an old side. And then we had Leverkusen. We go to Leverkusen because I think that was Burnham's previous side. It was, and when Burnham was the manager, they won the league 3 times, runners up once, um, and then no human managers actually replaced them. Um, Burnham decided to have a fresh, more tricky challenge, and he went over to England. So Germany is definitely a place you could go. Oh, Hamburg have got a human manager there under Nias. I actually went to Stuttgart for 1 season. I'll show you where I went. I've been moving around quite a bit actually in this game world. Well, my donut account has been quite stable at Tbilisi. I'll show you Tbilisi as well later. Spain, yeah, this is where the shocks are. Spain was actually quite competitive. The big shock was Dave Middleton was Barcelona boss, and he was so successful at Barcelona. But he decided to have a fresh challenge. He went over to Arsenal initially, then he's now Liverpool. And sadly, the Barcelona team are not the team as they were many few ticks ago because the vultures have come again. And as you can see here, when Dave left, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. They lost 9 of their players. 9 of their players. Yeah. So if you had a crystal ball, I wouldn't see Barcelona top of the table next season. I think Valencia, Real Madrid, Athletic Club could possibly take over. Atletico Madrid did have a manager, but their manager left. Their manager was, if I can remember who their manager was, it's down here somewhere. Roberto. Roberto was another big name who left. He left and he's now not managing anymore. He left in October, so that's another big name that left the game world, so which was very sad, but I guess these things happen. And Atletico still have got a bit of a good team there, so that's possibly another good place for someone to move. They have potentially got some really good youngsters there. Have they got high contracts though? That's always, yeah, there's a couple of really high contracts here. So just 3 players alone would be close to 400k. So 22 players, 3 players, 400k. If you look at my Harmony side, I've only got a wage bill of 192, and I've got 20. How many players have I got in my Harmony currently? 23. That will change because I'm buying some new players in. So yeah, 23 players, 190. Well, Atletico Madrid, just their 3 players was twice my wage already. So that's it's a shame to see what's happened to Barcelona. But again, when someone leaves and someone does not replace them straight away, the vultures come and just nick all the good players. Um, I was in Spain for a little while. Real Betis, Granada got a new boss. Nice. Um, I wanted to challenge there, but I didn't enjoy it in the end. Basically, because I was trying to get a youth side and trying to get the youth players come into the first team, and I just weren't getting them. So that's when I've gone back to Harmony. Harmony have got well known of having a very good youth academy players coming in, and out of my current side, you can see I've got a couple of hundred players myself. Um, the majority of these are former youth players. So there is a track record that I will get some decent youth players. Maybe not many per year, because of course I've got to first build this up from 5 to 15, and then so I've got 10 more youths hopefully coming in because I'm putting a lot of money into the youth academy, and then just see what I get. It's all random, no matter where you are. So I'll just give you a brief description of what's happened to me. So if we go into my history, I started off at Fiorentina. When we left, I was at Reims. I stayed there for about 4 or 5 months, game months. I moved then over to Crusaders, just very briefly, and then PSG. I stayed at PSG for just a year actually, then moved to Stuttgart, and I stayed for Stuttgart for about 6 months, and then went to Real Betis and stayed there for about 4 months. So I have been moving around a lot. Um, so I'm going to hopefully stay at Harmony now for quite a while because I'm going to build some decent players and see how it goes. What else can we look at? We'll look at what other countries. So there is a common pattern now that all the other countries have not got many managers. So if we go to Scotland, Hearts and Christopher's been at Hearts for such a long time and he's still there, so good on him. Portugal has got an interesting little league. We've got at least three managers there. Benfica's boss, Jose, and we've got Belenese. With Lewis trying to get everyone to come over to Portugal. Good luck, because it seems everyone wants to go over to England. Tondela, this is Thomas Tonedela, is that how you say it? So Portugal's doing all right. Turkey is also having a few managers still there, so it's good to see a few managers trying their best there. So Unson and Deniz and Andre, so it's good on you there. If we go over to Georgia and see Dynamo Tbilisi, just to show you my Tbilisi side where I'm here. Um, Good old Lord Donut. Lord Donut's been at Tbilisi for, yeah, I thought so. It's been his only club. So under my Lord Donut account, I have actually only been at Tbilisi, and we're doing very well at Tbilisi. I'm the reigning champions. My Tbilisi side is very good for this league. You can see there's the 100 player with only 800 value, so it does vary a lot here. It's quite a young, mature side in some places, so we've got youngsters and we've got some old players as well. I do on this side buy some older players who've got high skills just for one season to help out when we get injuries and stuff like that. The last thing we will look today is international cups. We'll look at the Champions League, and we'll look at who's won the Champions League. If I can remember how you do it, who's won the Champions League the last couple of years. So let's go. There's Champions League. So we go back to where we left you, and then we go to final. So in 2021, when we were just December 20, I think we were, Bayern Leverkusen won and I think Burnham beat Fritz's Bournemouth 6-5 on penalties, I think that was. And then the year after that, Barcelona under Day beat Atletico Madrid under Roberto 3-0. The year after that, Barcelona won again, beating Lazio 4-1. Barcelona will not win it this year. Totally not, because two cases, they've lost 9 players and also they haven't got a human manager anymore. We'll go to UEFA Cup briefly. And let's go back again. Man United beat Atletico Madrid 3-0 under Mike. A year later, Bristol City beat Middlesbrough in All-English final 1-0. And then the year after that, Mike Turner and Man United won against Lyon. I told you Mike's won quite a bit. So maybe this year Michael's tried to concentrate on the Champions League, I'm guessing. And yeah, no point showing you the Toto Cup or the European Championship. Again, there's no management for countries. I don't think that's ever going to happen. But there you go. That's the state of the game world as we see as it's June 2023. If people, depending on how many views this video will get, I could do a part 3 sometime in the future again. Again, when I did the original part 1, I said that I'll only come back to do specials, and this is a kind of special because it has been a bit of a gap since the last time we have done this. So I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, please let me know in the comments if you'd like me to carry on doing some of these specials, especially those who have not been in this game world. Oops, wrong screen. Been in this game world for a long time. The game is still running, the game's still ticking over. Good, big thanks to Burnham for keeping it alive. But we'll be seeing, interesting to see if there's going to be any noticeable improvements in the next couple of months. Burnham has asked in the forums of this game world what people would like to see in 2021, the year 2021, not the game year obviously. And a lot of people did mention about the youth academies going back to what they originally were, like the randomness of the ages and the randomness of them wanting contracts. Like at the moment, for instance, if my goalie is 16 years old, I have to keep him now for 2 years. When he reaches 18, 19 years old, he will then ask for a contract. In the old way of doing it, if he could have asked a contract straight away and he's only 16 years old, and then I'll say no because he's crap. But no, because he's in my youth academy, I have to keep him for another 2 years, 2 seasons. A lot of people don't like that. I personally don't like it either, but we have to live with it. But that's it. Yeah, so let me know how you feel about this video. It's good to be back for this this special. I'm still logging into Managersim every day to check my two sides. There's actually a tick going to happen in 5 minutes, and hence another reason why I need to end this, because soon you'll see I won't be able to access the game world for about 10 minutes. Um, yeah, just let me know. So this is Donut signing off. Bye everyone.